Hey guys.
Hey!
So we wanted to do a video to talk to you about something that's pretty near and dear to us right now. We're both trying for a baby, our own babies.
Not together with our husband.
Yeah. And because we're friends and we're trying at the same time, the point kind of came up about like what if one of us gets pregnant before the other and how hard that can be to approach that topic when somebody else has been trying and unsuccessful. I can't say definitively when we started trying, but I know for certain that it's been about 6 months, 5 or 6 months.
So this is our 7th month of trying.
8th month, okay.
December was our 7th month.
Yeah. So we recognize that there are a lot of people who try for a very long time. Any kind of infertility is still infertility, which our good friend Jess kindly reminds us. And so when we're talking about having children and the concept of having or conceiving a child before the other, it's heartbreaking to think of the heartbreak that they may experience.
Yeah, both ends are hard. Being the recipient of the news or being the one to give the news both seem difficult. In an ideal world, we would just get pregnant at the same time, but that's not, that's not reality. It's not like we can just say, okay, we're gonna this month, and then it happens.
Yeah.
So it's important. It was important for us, and is important for us to really prepare to have that conversation,
right?
And how that's gonna go.
And so as we were talking about this and how each other would appreciate that delivery, I guess, of the news, we came across an article. Cody brought one to my attention that we wanted to share some good ideas that they had, because I guess we're potentially both in that situation. Right now, we're both experiencing a level of infertility. And I know that that's a little bit of a trigger word and a hot word, and I don't take that lightly. I'm not trying to compare because that's not, frankly, healthy for people to say my situation is worse than yours because we're all walking our own path, right? So do you want to go ahead and bring that up?
All right, so first tip. You are welcome to save your announcement for as long as you want in pregnancy. But my first tip is if you are planning on sharing the news with everyone, take a minute, privately share that you are expecting with your friend that is struggling with infertility first. Doing it over a text message or phone call or in person, whatever you feel is most appropriate, just doing that privately.
And I'll add in there, I know there's a tip, and I actually don't think we mentioned this is from Verywell. That's who gave us this, and we're going to elaborate on some of the points. There's another point that I think is appropriate to mention here, that it says to do it in a casual, comfortable setting. And so I think it should reflect the friendship that you have. Like making sure the setting is appropriate.
Yeah, you're not like you're not at a party and you're like, hey, come here for a second. Like they need to be able to process that information,
right?
And be able to get out of the situation if they need time.
Yeah. Another tip they had was leave out details and advice. Being considerate that they don't know how they're going to process it. We've even talked about how we're like, this month I think I'm okay. Next month I don't know. Even if we are feeling okay, we may get the news and not. We both actually had instances in the same month that we had said we were okay. Later, people telling us that they were pregnant, and we didn't feel as okay with it as we may have thought. And there's a lot of reasons. They were different circumstances. So recognizing that they may not know how they feel, and so they may have a different reaction and may not want advice on getting pregnant. Even if you both experience infertility, like I know that if Cody told me she was pregnant, like say this month she says she's pregnant, and then it's like, well, this is what you need to do. Like, obviously our paths are different, and it might come across like I'm not trying hard enough. And so that's where I think the advice to not give advice is pretty sound unless it's solicited.
Yes, if they're asking for advice or asking for details.
Yes.
Everyone's different. Some people want to celebrate, that you're pregnant. They want to do that.
Yeah.
That makes them feel happy or they can kind of vicariously have joy. And then others don't. So just, can I talk about my house story really quick? So this is a different topic, but Brittany and we were both also in the market for a new house. And Eden and I, we found a house. We had an offer accepted, and I asked Brittany, I said, hey, do you want to see pictures of the house? And I'm so glad that she felt comfortable enough to say, not yet. I'm not ready. I don't.
Yeah.
And I was so grateful that you were able to do that and wait till you were ready, and that it wasn't something that I was like, look at my new house, like in your face.
Yeah.
Because that could have put a strain on our relationship. Mm-hmm. So you can always ask. I think you can ask and say, hey, where are you at?
Yes.
And hopefully you've developed a relationship that they feel confident if they're not ready.
Yes, that was perfectly put. And I appreciate bringing that up because these ideas are very applicable to many settings. And I think that's the key is gauging by talking to them, having communication with them and finding out what they want to know and what they don't want to know. Because not everybody, of course, but they're going to be happy for you in time. They just may not in that moment. And maybe it's an hour they need, maybe it's a month they need, maybe it's after the baby's born that they are there.
And chances are, like you've explained, their response is not about you. It's not that they hate you or hate what's happening or they don't want this for you. They just want it for themselves. They want to be in that situation, and that's hard to see. It can be really hard to want something good and not have it happening, and then see other people get it and have to just process that. Take some time.
It can be especially hard if you hear it was easy or something like that. Like that might magnify how hard it's been for them, or maybe make them feel like they're not trying hard enough. And so I think that it's important to be delicate. Now, with all this said, we all might put our foot in our mouth on accident, and not everyone will respond poorly. So if you're hearing these, like, I can think of so many times where that wasn't a problem. That's great, but so we'll probably come up. So these are just suggestions that we thought could be helpful.
Okay, so point number 3, make it okay not to attend your baby shower or big events related to the baby. This we've talked about triggering things. This can be really, really hard. I know for me right now, it would be hard to go to someone's baby shower and see all the cute little baby things and play the baby games and all the baby conversations and just know in my heart that that's not for me right now. That would be hard. Mm-hmm. And knowing that it wouldn't hurt my relationship to not go to that would just be really comforting. Something that people should know. They should know that your relationship does not depend on if you attend a baby shower.
Right. Definitely leaving an open door. And so if they do decide to come, that they know that they are welcome as well. Or you could have a separate thing. You too could go out to dinner and have that kind of intimate relationship, because I would love that. I would absolutely hate to be in a setting where, like, if at this time, and it's okay, like if Cody's pregnant and if I'm not feeling it, if I'm feeling very heartbroken or something, and I know that it's okay to not attend, but I'm left out of it celebrating with her, that might be hard for me. Maybe I still want to, but without all of our church members asking, are you trying? Or something like that, people that don't have as much insight as each other. And so if you could do it more personalized or intimate, that can also be really great. One of the last things we'll mention is a point that Verywell makes, and we agree with, that a lot of the tension that can come is simply from unspoken fears and unmet expectations. And so if we're going to have mutual respect and understanding, as Cody said, that the relationship isn't going to be damaged based on events or attendance at something, I think that can release a lot of tension, but also it can help maintain your friendship longer through these potentially difficult transition.
And then our final take-home message is that when you are preparing to have a conversation like this with your friend who's experiencing infertility, be upfront, honest, and considerate. You have to be the one to gauge how your relationship is going to be impacted by this and how to best serve that person that you're telling them this is a big deal for them. And it's a big deal for you, both of you involved. Yeah. It's a big transition for you and pretty big news for them. So just try to keep that in mind and use your best judgment.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Britt and Cody in the morning. Is it okay?
Jeez, yeah, I'm fine. I've got a good pace. I just promised it.